2, go.
Welcome to the Internet Radio Experience.
Hi, this is Alexa Squigna, also known as Betty the Q. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
One man with one simple vision: to create a barbecue site that doesn't suck. He succeeded. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Greg Rempe and the BarbecueCentral.com.
Don't take me, bro.
Broadcasting live from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show on BBSTalkRadio.com.
What is up, everybody? Good Thursday evening to you, wherever you may be. Appreciate you joining me for another edition of the Barbecue Central Show. Broadcasting live again from Mick's Pub and Grill in beautiful Willoughby, Ohio. Big show today, so let me get you your logistics right now, and we can get after it. If you want to give us a call, of course, number is on me, 866-515-6977, 866-515-6977. If you don't want to break me off a telephone call, you can email me at bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. That's bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. So there's a way you want to get. Here's what's going to be happening today. We're going to briefly review the difference between barbecue and grilling, as we had a little technical difficulty at the end of the last show last week. As far as show topics are concerned, we're going to go over the makes, or basically, a lot of people ask me what kind of a grill should I get, what kind of a smoker should I get, so we'll go ahead and get over the recommendations of some of the grill and smoker manufacturers out there for the beginners, people that are looking to upgrade. Second segment, have an interview with the original charcoal company president, Eric Kraus. Talk to him about what it's like to get into the charcoal business, what it's like to go up against the big blue bag, or the big blue and white bag of Kingsford, kind of get a little insight on what that industry is all about. And we will go from there. Again, 866-515-6977. If you want to jump in via the phone, would probably be a good idea at this point if I actually launched the phone software in order for that to work. In order to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and pick up where we left off last week, which was just talking about the difference between barbecue and grilling. And basically, we'll start with grilling first. Now, it really couldn't have ended up playing out any better. At the end part of last week, I was listening to another show on BBSTalkRadio.com called The Damage Report. And the host, Johnny Dam, was actually talking about what his plans for the weekend were and how that included barbecuing. People think that I just make it up when people interchange the words barbecue and grilling, but I actually have actual audio tape of exactly what I'm trying to educate people on tonight. So here's Johnny Dam from the Damage Report. This was last Friday.
I love to cook on my barbecue, and I'm going to be very careful to say whether I barbecue or grill because I don't want him.
Yeah, don't get that wrong.
I don't want him for being willy-nilly, so I got to find out exactly what he meant by that. But as a matter of fact, I'm barbecuing up some steaks tonight.
No, you are not barbecuing up some steaks tonight. This is what grilling is. And again, this is what the show is all about. Grilling is done at a high temperature. Grilling is for the immediate satisfaction for the guy or gal that doesn't want to spend a lot of time just in the overall process. Not a lot of time prepping necessarily, not a lot of time dealing with the actual cooking part, but they know it's going to taste good and they want to eat it. That's what grilling is. It's high temperature. we're talking in the neighborhood of 450 degrees and up. There are units out there that will easily get you into the 11, 1200 degree grill comes to mind. We'll talk about them a little bit later. And most importantly, this is a direct heat source. You have your grill grate, you have your meat on the grill grate, and then you have just inches underneath it that you have your heat source. Lest it be your gas burner, if you have a gasser, or your charcoal, if you have a kettle grill. It's a direct heat source. It's a high heat source. It's thinner cuts of meat, steaks, burgers, hot dogs, chicken pieces. Some people do spatchcock chickens, which is a whole chicken. Basically, a spatchcocking means you take the backbone out. It's kind of a neat presentation. We can talk about preparation and whatnot in future shows. Overall cooking time, it's probably going to be a stretch unless you're cooking something, more suited for a barbecue, or it's just a bigger cut of meat. You're looking at 20 minutes or less, majority of the time. And again, this is high heat, 450 degrees and up, direct heat source right underneath the meat, thinner cuts, shorter cook time. So that's grilling in a nutshell. And then, of course, you have the subcategory of grilling, which is indirect grilling. Now, these temperatures would be a little less than your direct grilling, here and there, I guess. But basically what indirect grilling means is you are setting up, let's say you have a gas burner that has 3 burners. So you would light the front and the back burner, but you leave the middle one off, and that's where you're going to put your meat, over the part that is not lit. And then you have indirect heat coming from the front and the back, or from side to side, depending on how your burners are running, whether it be north and south or east and west. And the heat is kind of wrapping around your piece of meat or your chicken or whatever you're cooking indirectly. This is usually done when you have maybe an inherently fatty piece of meat and you don't want it to just continually flame and flare up. Let's face it, even some of the best cookers out there, you're not going to be able to. You can't prevent flare-ups all the time. No matter how good the technology is, no matter how good the grill is, it's just not going to happen. So a good way to eliminate the flare-ups, especially on gas grills, just because it's always a constant fire coming out, is cook it indirectly. So that's what indirect is. Again, temperatures might be a little less than direct grilling, definitely higher than it would be for barbecue. Probably, in the 400, maybe 410 degree range, and you can vary that with your gas grill. That kind of levels out a little bit with your charcoal grills, but that's indirect grilling. And I'm a big fan of indirect grilling. I like it a lot. It does allow you to add the smoke chips if you're so inclined, or if you're doing it on a charcoal grill, it allows you to add the wood chunks to get that nice smoke flavor profiled up into your particular cut of meat. So that's grilling. Now we'll move to barbecue real quickly. Barbecue, as Johnny did say on his show today, low and slow. We're looking at temperatures in the 180 degree. Oh, I'm sorry, by the way. There was another great audio clip of what people talk about, or what the general public thinks about when the term barbecue is mentioned. This is Johnny's co-host, Joni Coyote, and this is what she said last Friday.
Well, do you think barbecuing would mean that you're using barbecue sauce?
No. It doesn't mean that you're using barbecue sauce, but good try nonetheless. Barbecue in itself is actually has nothing to do with the sauce. It's the way you're cooking the meat. As I said before, low and slow. You're looking at 180 degrees to start with, up to and not exceeding 250 degrees. That's your textbook temperature variation as far as your barbecue pit is concerned. And this is the journey. This is for people that like the process. There's a fairly lengthy, depending on what you're cooking, preparation process. There is holding times. There are rub down periods. There are injections that go into the meat if you're so inclined. There's brining involved. I mean, potential hours of preparation even before your particular cut of meat even sees the grill. Or even sees the barbecue pit. So there's that aspect. And then there's the whole cooking time. Barbecue is indirect heat, which means it is not directly below. There's some type of heat diffuser in your barbecue. And there's a number of different pits. Obviously, you have your electric pits. I have a pair of Weber Smoky Mountain cookers. There's a charcoal bowl underneath, and then there's a water pan that sits over the top of the charcoal, and that kind of blocks the direct heat. Also, the water stabilizes the temperature so it doesn't get too hot in there. So you're able to maintain that 200 to 250 degree temperature depending on what you're cooking. So there's your temperature variation. Also, inherently in barbecue, it's wood. There has to be some type of wood going on to get the smoke. Barbecue, also known as smoking. Now, some barbecue pits out there are completely wood-driven. Guys order cords of wood, and they split them up into sticks, and you've seen. I would imagine the majority of you at one time or another have actually seen a barbecue offset pit. It's got the big tube where the meat goes, and then there's a box off to the side, and you build your fire into that box off onto the side. And you have a chimney up on the other side of the actual cooking chamber itself. And through a baffle, the heat and the smoke run across the main chamber, and that's what cooks the meat and then goes out of the chimney. And you kind of vary, or you play with your air intakes and your damper on your chimney in order to maintain your particular barbecue temperature that you're cooking at. We're talking about pork butts here for barbecue, which makes pulled pork, and briskets, big whole packer briskets, and ribs and chicken. And cook times here, I mean, you're looking at chicken. It's probably going to take you the better part of an hour and a half, safely, maybe 2 hours, depending on if it's chicken or, chicken pieces like thighs, or if you're doing whole chickens or quarters. So that's, probably your quickest cook is going to be chicken. Ribs are going to take you, depending on if they're baby back ribs or loin back ribs, or you're cooking spare ribs, are going to be anywhere in the 4.5 hour to 6 hour plus range for spare ribs, because they're bigger, meatier cuts of the rib. Brisket's going to take you an hour and a half or so a pound. And if you're getting whole packers, those things are going to be anywhere between 13 and 15 pounds. So, do the math at an hour and a half a pound. It's like 500 hours, I think. Pork butts, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you want to figure, a pound. Typically, these are coming depending on where you can buy your meat. I usually go to the local Sam's, or we have BJ's up here. You buy them in a pack of 2, and typically they're anywhere between 16 to 18 or 19 pounds. So splitting that in 2, you're looking at 8-9 pound butts in a pair. So you're looking at 18 hours minimum cook time. Typically, I like to factor in an additional hour or 2 just to make sure that I have enough time to cook them. And then there's a whole other process on the back end after they come off the cooker, especially for pork butts and briskets, is the dry halt, which is once your pork or your brisket hits its internal temperature. You're taking them off the barbecue, you're double wrapping them in heavy-duty aluminum foil, and then you have a nice dry cooler that you take your now aluminumized wrapped up pork butt or briskets, wrap it in a couple dry towels, slam it in the cooler for a hold. And those pork butts, they'll hold at temperature for 4 or 5 hours. And of course, you can safely check that by inserting a meat thermometer when you actually go to serve. Same thing with briskets. Once they're wrapped in the foil, wrapped in a towel, put in the cooler, these things will hold for quite some time. So grilling is hot and quick. Direct heat source, barbecue, low and slow, indirect heat. Temperatures 180 to 250. Gotta have wood in order to really make a true barbecue to get that nice smoke flavor in the meat. And there's your review of grilling and barbecue. Glad that we could do that. Hopefully, if you have any questions, of course, on that whole process, you can go ahead and get in touch with me via email, bbqcentralradio.com. You can also come to the forum at the bbqcentral.com and join the forum and get all the knowledge you want there. Before we head off the break, I want to talk about my good friend Darren Hearn over at D-Dog's Barbecue Rub. You know, there's nothing more important for barbecue and grilling is preparation. You need quality rub, and D-Dog's has award-winning rubs. Did you know that their original rub took a first place and their maple rub took a second place at the America's Best Professional Food Competition? Oh, they did. And they also have diversified the product's offering portfolio. They now have D-Dog's Barbecue Cranberry Chipotle Table Sauce. Goes great on anything. Leave it on the table. You'll find ways to use it for sure. D-Dog's Original Recipe Wing Sauce for your chicken wangs. Everybody loves a good smoked fried chicken wing. And also D-Dog's BBQ Steak Sauce. That's right. Anything you need, D-Dog's has now become your one-stop shop for rubs, sauces, wing sauce, steak sauce. That's all you need. You go to DDOGSBBQ.com, DDogsBBQ.com for all your rubs, all your sauces. D-Dog's Barbecue Rub is better than ketchup. Hang around, we'll be right back.
Barbecue has never been easier with the Barbecue Guru. The Barbecue Guru is a temperature control and monitor for all pits, charcoal, wood, electric, your pit. It easily attaches to any smoker or pit and gives you simple, trouble-free control of your temperatures, so you can make championship quality barbecue every time and all the time. And it's location-free. Take it anywhere. This amazing breakthrough in barbecue technology is a microprocessor-controlled draft system that uses temperature monitors and a small fan to keep your temperatures constant. The stainless steel Guru Pit Minder gives you a choice of controls from 90 to 370 degrees. So cold smoke, pepper drying, making cheese or jerky, or fabulous briskets and ribs is nothing short of effortless. The Procom 4 lets you monitor your pit from up to 600 feet away. And there's more. Check out the full line of products and accessories for the future of barbecue with new items on the way. Visit thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
If you're not listening to California Dreaming, you're missing out on all the important stuff.
Masturbation is costing society a lot of water. Okay?
What?
Okay.
Where did you get this from?
Okay, you take a shower, you shampoo, you soap yourself, blah, 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 and then you start going at it, right? So what is it, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes? That's a lot of water. I mean, can you imagine how much water is wasted on that? Just imagine how many gallons you think probably go through the shower heads in a minute. So I think we're going to have a drought regardless of whether it rains here or not, because people wasting water masturbating, you know? Do it elsewhere. Don't do it in the shower, okay?
Sam says vote no masturbate in 08. It's California Dreaming with your host Sam and Manu, only on BBS Talk Radio.
Dog's award-winning barbecue rubs put the perfect balance of spicy and sweet on your ribs, chicken, all beef and pork, and more. Whether it's slow-cooked barbecue or grilled steaks and burgers or soups, vegetables, or anything else from your kitchen, D-Dog's award-winning rubs make good food great. 4 flavors: original, maple, apple, and peach, each made from the freshest, all-natural ingredients. Order yours today at www.ddogsbbq.com. That's DDOGSBBQ.com. D-Dog's Barbecue Rubs. It's better than ketchup.
Hello, everybody. This is Gary Vaynerchuk, host of Wine Library TV, a.k.a. WLTV, and this is BBQ Central.
The phone lines are open on the Barbecue Central Show, and the dime is on us. Call 866-515-6977. That's 866-515-6977. Now, let's get back to the show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with me. This is the Barbecue Central Show on bbstalkradio.com. As promised, joining me now is the president of the Original Charcoal Company. We're going to be talking a little bit of charcoal this evening, so let's welcome in Eric Krause. Eric, welcome to the Barbecue Central Show.
Thanks so much, Greg. How you doing tonight?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity to chat with you.
Yeah, happy to do it. Eric, why don't you give us a little, brief background about yourself and, kind of what you're into professionally, and then how you kind of worked your way into charcoal business.
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. I won't bore you with how I grew up, but I realized back probably in college that the best way to meet pretty girls was to learn how to cook really well. And so that started my love for grilling. And then I was running international division for a textile company some years later, and one of my territories was South America. And I had a network of agents throughout South America that when I was calling on them, they would invite me to their homes for an asado, for an outdoor picnic or barbecue. And what every single one of them had, everyone without fail, had this all-natural hardwood lump charcoal, which is like carbonized wood. And cooking food on this product makes the food, just enhances the flavor of the food so tremendously. And it was such a huge difference than what we were used to in the States with a coal dust briquette, made basically 92% chemical and 8% sawdust. The flavor was just unbelievably far superior. So I came back. I was working with the textile business, as people might know in this country, textiles weren't doing so great going into early 2000s, and so I was looking to make a change, and I looked around the market, and I thought lump charcoal out of South America would be a pretty interesting product to bring in. And we looked through the market, and we realized that everywhere else in the world they use all-natural hardwood charcoal. And only the States, again, use this briquette that's made out of coal dust and other toxic fillers. And so we started to bring this in and actually made our first sale before we actually had anything packed and shipped out of South America. So it started pretty fast, and we really enjoyed the heck out of it, and now all of a sudden it's 5 years later.
Now, certainly, at least for me, and I got to imagine a lot of the more novice barbecue and grillers that are listening now, you think about charcoal, you think immediately there's a blue and white bag out there. Everybody knows where it is. It's at your big box stores. It's at Kmart. It's in your grocery stores. Brand recognition has got to be huge in this business. How do you go about getting original charcoal out to the consuming public and go against the monster of Kingsford?
I tell you, Greg, if I knew then what I do now, I might have hesitated, because Kingsford is a monster, backed by Clorox, of course, a chemical company. So when they have tens of millions, if not $100 million in advertising, we are a grassroots company. And so we rely on word of mouth tremendously. We started out in barbecue competitions. We competed a little bit. We teamed up with a group called John Boy and Billy's Big Show Foods, and that's a radio group, and so we competed. I sponsored some barbecue events. We sponsor some teams, and we compete, and so that is, from our marketing standpoint, it's a pretty big focus for us. The other thing that we do that helps is once you get into a store, you got to do TPRs, or total price reductions, or price promotions. And so we constantly figure out the best, most effective way to promote through the store, because again, we just can't compete with the big dollars of a Clorox type. So we have those. We also have great advocates as well on some forums. And I have to say, the Barbecue Central has been a huge supporter of us. We're very, very grateful for that. And so that's how we started. And on the brand side, we got a big boost on brand recognition and market share with Home Depot in 2007 when they launched our Rancher Briquette, which is, as you know, 100% all-natural hardwood briquette with a binder of yucca starch. So it's all natural, so the flavor's there. So Home Depot launched that product, and we sold about 125 container loads in a 5-day period over Memorial Day.
Wow.
That really got our name out there. and that helped a lot. And then last year we were in Costco in several regions, and so that helped again. But we rely on word of mouth, and we're all about the grassroots support that we can get.
Can you?
On the inside.
I'm sorry, Eric. Can you briefly describe to the listeners what the difference between a lump charcoal and a lump briquette is?
Absolutely. Lump charcoal is carbonized wood, and it's been around for thousands of years. It fueled the Iron Age, and the Egyptians used it, and the Romans used it for many different uses. So it's really the original charcoal. It's the first charcoal that's been out there. 100% all natural, and the ash is actually good for the environment. It's high in potassium and calcium carbonate. A briquette, our briquette, is ground up lump, carbonized wood, and it's ground up and then mixed in a slurry with yucca starch, which is a South American root vegetable. And so while ours is all natural, that's exactly the opposite of what you have in the Clorox product. And so what you have is a big difference in flavor and performance. And so that's our advantage.
Now, typically, at least for people that are a little bit more knowledgeable on different types of fuels, lump is considered to burn, a lot hotter than a traditional briquette. Is it safe to assume then, since we now have the Rancher lump briquette, that you're getting the same type of heat quality that you would get from a lump charcoal, but now you're also getting the longevity and the consistency of what a briquette would offer?
Thank you for helping me to answer your first question again by leading me here, Greg. I apologize. I got off on a tangent. Yes, lump is very hot, and before Coke was invented, metal refineries would use lump charcoal because of the heat. Because carbonized wood will burn much, much higher temperatures even than wood. And so it's the hottest thing out there. I mean, it will melt steel. And so a briquette, you're not going to get that hot. But with our lump briquette, you will get a higher temperature, but you will not get as high as you would with pure lump. But what you'll get is you'll have all the benefits of that lump. You'll have long burn, terrific flavor, a higher heat, but you'll also have the benefits of a briquette, which is more people are familiar with how a burn characteristic is with a briquette. So you'll have a more uniform heat across the grill with a briquette, and with the briquette you won't have any spark. With lump charcoal, you get some sparking, and so you'll have no spark with the briquette. Not that sparking is bad; you just gotta watch for it. And so with the briquette, really, you have the best of both worlds without the negatives that you would have with a coal dust briquette.
Aside from go ahead.
Sorry, I'm hoping I'm answering the question.
No, absolutely.
For you. Yeah.
Aside from the Rancher briquette and the original charcoal, lump charcoal, what other products do you guys currently offer?
We have several different sizes, or SKUs, SKUs, stocking units, of both lump and the briquette. We're just now bringing in an all-natural, instant light the bag lump charcoal. And we're working on an instant light, all-natural, instant light briquette as well. And besides that, we have wood chips, different flavored wood chips, and we have cedar planks. And we also have grilling papers. Grilling papers are a very interesting product, relatively new. And basically it's a very thin piece of wood that you soak, it becomes pliable. And so you can do many different things with that as well. And so those are our core competencies. But we also have some other products like pinion wood we supply, and going into the future we have a grill, actually patent pending grill that we're putting together some prototypes on as well. So, but we like to stick with the fundamentals. We see briquette as 100% all natural briquette as a real growth item, and we see the lump The all-natural hardwood lump grows annually at about a 10% rate. So that's a good double-digit growth. It's still 13% of total charcoal sales, so it's not a huge number. But we want to keep to our fundamentals.
For people that are listening right now, what regions of the country are you in retail that people might be able to, go out tomorrow and pick up 1 or 15 bags?
From your lips to everybody's ears, Greg.
And I would just like to testify to the fact that when you guys were in Home Depot, it wasn't abnormal at all, and I can vouch for experiencing as many posts on the Barbecue Central forum that people weren't buying 1 bag of Rancher briquettes. They were buying 5 or 15 bags.
That's an interesting point, and it's a great frustration to us that the Clorox company has convinced Home Depot that nobody cares about flavor, performance, or price, and everybody just wants a cold-dust briquette. And we lost that spot because we have emails this day still, 10 emails a day, 10 phone calls, 20 phone calls a day. Where can we get your Rancher? And we don't make us drive more than 3 hours to get it. And I'm just so flattered by that. So in order so you don't have to drive 3 hours, anybody out there, we are in Costco in Texas and in the Midwest, which flows down to Missouri and Chicago and along the Mississippi. And then we're mostly in the southeast, or at least the eastern corridor, in grocery stores in the southeast. I believe we haven't heard the final say on it yet, but I believe we're going to have a program with Publix, Florida, and I believe we're going to have a program with ShopRite up in the Northeast.
Very good.
Otherwise, we're in the eastern corridor. We're happy to ship product to anybody, anywhere. Freight is a little bit of a challenge for everybody, and we recognize that. So we'll offer our product at almost cost, below wholesale, because the cost of freight is going to bump us up a little bit.
Right. Now, what type of contact info can people go to in order to, or where can they go to get contact information about possibly putting in an order like that if it's not around them to go to a retail store and buy?
We have our website should be updated within the next month, but you can go to www.originalcharcoal.com or shoot me an email at info@originalcharcoal.com. And we are very good at a quick turnaround, quick response. I tell you, the other thing is, if people out there are interested in helping us, we are presenting, believe it or not, for 2009 to the big box stores in April. And so we're trying to prove to those big box that, in fact, there are a lot of people out there who would prefer to have an all-natural alternative to that chemical-laden briquette that's out there.
Right.
And so if I could challenge your listenership to shoot me an email and tell us why you want or why you can't live without an all-natural alternative, or why you can't live without Rancher charcoal in an email, then I will forward your emails on and CC you to the head buyers at the various big box stores, and see if we can't get a voice going that way.
Yep. All right. The challenge has been issued, and I'll go ahead. I'll also go ahead and make a post on the Barbecue Central forum about that too, because I know we'll get some solid response from there.
Well, I appreciate that very much, Frank. It's always a pleasure.
Eric Kraus is the president of the Original Charcoal Company. Eric, appreciate you taking a little bit of time out tonight to educate us a little bit about charcoal, difference between the lump briquette and the lump charcoal, and continued success in the future.
Thank you very much, Craig. It's always a pleasure.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Eric Kraus, thanks again. I'm telling you, it's interesting to get the insider's knowledge about how these big box stores are actually purchasing their charcoal and the decisions that they're making, even when consumer demand was at an all-time high for this product from spring until, it still is. So I was introduced to the Rancher Lumbercat in the spring, and I haven't looked back. It's just a phenomenal product. So thanks again to Eric Kraus from the Original Charcoal Company to come on and talk about that. Certainly appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about grill recommendations and barbecue recommendations. Before we do, I want to talk about my good friends over at the Barbecue Guru, proud sponsor of the Barbecue Central Internet Radio Show. They have a really great product called a stainless steel Caldera 3-bay caterer. This is a heavy-duty stainless steel 3-bay catering system that knocks down and stores into a very small space. That's not cool enough. It also but it runs on sterno or charcoal. It's a panelized system that knocks down and stacks, assembles and disassembles in seconds. No tools required. So if you're a caterer, it's great because you got that nice buffet system. Also, it's a approved NSFM sink, three-bay sink for wash, sanitize, and rinse. Serve it hot, warm special features. Also has a 3-bay tray, charcoal-powered washing station for cook-offs and events. Just one of the many breakthrough products that the folks at the Barbecue Guru are doing. You can check them out at thebbqguru.com. That's thebbqguru.com. Or you can call them toll-free at 1-800-288-GURU. Ask for Barbecue Bob. Tell them that the Barbecue Central Show and Greg Rempe sent you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
D-Dog's award-winning barbecue rubs put the perfect balance of spicy and sweet on your ribs, chicken, all beef and pork, and more. Whether it's slow-cooked barbecue or grilled steaks and burgers or soups, vegetables, or anything else from your kitchen, D-Dog's award-winning rubs make good food great. 4 flavors: original, maple, apple, and peach. Each made from the freshest, all-natural ingredients. Order yours today at www.ddogsbbq.com. That's DDOGSBBQ.com. D-Dogs Barbecue Rubs. It's better than ketchup.
Hi, I'm Johnny Dam, host of The Damage Report. It's an informative show filled with political, social commentary, and satire. It's like having Thanksgiving dinner with the family without all the drinking, yelling, and awkward silence when the uncle that touched you arrived. So fall in love with the First Amendment all over again, weekdays 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on bbstalkradio.com.
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit, to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose, like ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-bay caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Hi, this is Larry Wolf of Wolf Rub Barbecue Seasonings, and you're listening to Barbecue Central.
Get on the phone and in the smoke. 866-515-6977. That's 866-515-6977. BBSTalkRadio.com.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging with me through the commercials. Thanks again to Eric Kraus for joining me last segment. Talk about charcoal. Very interesting conversation. Now we get back to the topic at hand. Grill recommendations. As time will permit, the hour seems to fly by. I always think I'm not going to have anywhere near enough material and then it looks like I'm going to be carrying over to next week. That's all right. That's what I'm here for. Help everybody out and have to write less for next week. So very good. Grill recommendations. Now, before we actually get into this part, there needs to be a criteria set up for what you're going to be buying. Ultimately, there is going to have to be some type of budget that you're probably going to want to stick within. All of us just don't have money growing off of trees and can spend unlimited amounts of money on barbecue pits and grills. So you want to set some type of ballpark dollar amount, and then you can work from there. Also, what you want to take into account is how much are you really going to use the grill or the barbecue. You don't want to... My thought is this. For the people that don't want to cook, or they know, their POS is done and they just want to buy another POS, that's fine. But there are other people out there that want to kind of get into the grilling a little bit more, that want to learn about barbecue, but they don't want to make a huge investment up front, and I can certainly appreciate that. But what you don't want to do is buy something that is cheap in order to get a taste for it, because ultimately what happens, especially in this kind of industry, this kind of subculture, what you get or what you pay for is what you get. So if you can afford to spend a few extra bucks on something that might be a tier up from the standard fare of crap that is available out there, what will happen is this: you will get a satisfactory result, and ultimately will make you feel good about the whole thing, and you will continue on with learning how to grill better. You will continue on with learning the art of barbecue. You get a piece of crap grill or a piece of crap barbecue, it doesn't perform well, it turns you off, and it has nothing to do with the fact that outdoor grilling and cooking is a great thing. You were turned off because the grill or the barbecue is just an inherently bad piece of equipment. So that's something you want to take into account. Also, you want to take into account how much you're going to use it. If you're going to upgrade, or if you're going to start, maybe you only grill once or twice a week when it's warm out, and then you put a tarp over it and you put it to bed 5 months out of the year because it's technically not in a grilling season. I don't even know what a grilling or barbecue season is. To me, it's 12 months out of the year. When it's cold out, for me, I might be barbecuing 2 or 3 or grilling 2 or 3 times a week. As soon as spring rolls around and the weather gets better, it's 6 days a week minimum. Sometimes I'm grilling while I have the barbecue going for next day's food. So that's what I'm talking about. So if you're typically somebody that only does it once or twice, but you know you're going to ramp up this coming season, then you want to buy a grill that can handle the extra wear and tear, that's going to be built solid, that can handle the abuse you're going to be putting on it. Just some things to take into consideration. So with that being said, grill recommendations, these are my top 3. Weber. I know you see them around. They're in every store. Weber, by far, is making a great product. And I'm not talking about the high-end, $2,000, $3,000 grills. We're talking about grills that you and I will go to the store and buy. Weber makes a superior product. Their customer service is unmatched. You can call their 800 number and talk to a grill expert. They can troubleshoot any issues that you have over the phone. They will send you replacement. If it's under warranty, they just make, a very high-end grill, which is a Velux. Then they make just a step below that would be their Summit series. Then they also have their Genesis series grills. I own a Genesis myself. It's a Silver B 3-burner gasser. I've had that for going on 4 years now. That thing is a champion. And then, of course, they also have the charcoal grills, the one-touch kettle. I have a one-touch gold. It's a 22.5-inch cooking surface. Again, this is a charcoal-driven grill. So as far as grills offered, they run the gamut. Gassers, charcoal. They have a wide range, or a wide availability of accessory products to go with their grills, which is great. It's always nice to have gadgets around. Typically, if you're a griller or a barbecue, you're into gadgets. You like to have a lot of stuff laying around to make you feel more important when you're in front of the flames. The biggest part to me, aside from customer service, is the fact that replacement parts and accessory products are widely available anywhere. Big box stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, your BJ's, your Costco's, all have Weber replacement parts or accessories. Many independent stores have them, like your local hardware store. Nelly. That should never happen. What's happening here? Sorry about that technical issue. But you go to your local hardware store. Typically, these are places that will also have Weber replacement parts, if not also selling Weber products. So, just another reason why Weber is good stuff. Top to bottom, the most heavily recommended brand name that I give people when they say, Greg, I want to buy a new grill. What should I buy? After we go through the criteria search. And a terrible hiss is happening. We're working on a new connection into the show next week, so hopefully that'll work out, so bear with me. Number 2, Vermont Castings, the VC. Now, the difference here between Weber is the fact that they are actually only offering a line of gas grills, no charcoal grills to my knowledge. Great customer reviews, maybe even overall higher than Weber as far as consumer port ratings are concerned. Quality build, these also at Lowe's and Home Depot. Man, that is just driving me up the wall. What is going on? Let me see if this helps. And get that bad boy out of here. No, that is not helping. That's too bad. So, Vermont, you know what? I can't even do it. I can't do it. It's not going to work. I cannot continue on with my recommendations with that screaming in my ear, and hopefully maybe you can't hear it.
Greg?
That's going to be it.
Greg?
We're going to call it a show.
Greg, can you hear me?
Yes, I think everybody else can too.
Okay. Listen, I don't know. This is coming from your side.
Is it?
Yeah, the hissing. Okay, it seems to have stopped now. Yeah, it stopped. It's coming from your end because I didn't. It was on the signal coming from you. So, but at any rate, it seems fine now. So why don't you keep going? I don't hear anything now.
No, it seems we're okay now. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that was. It was irritating me as well. But
okay.
I couldn't tell what it was. So go on.
Right, so we'll press through the Vermont Castings. So again, great customer reviews and consumer reports. Quality builds. Again, you can find these at your Home Depot and your. I don't even know if actually Lowe's has it. They might carry another brand, but I know Home Depot has them. My dad actually got one. It'll be 2 summers ago, and he's very happy with it. There's probably 3 or 4 models to choose from. They don't necessarily have the higher end models like Weber does with the Velux and the Summit series, but you can get 3 and 4 and 6 burner gas grills from Vermont Castings. Only negative that I have really come across with any frequency on at least the barbecue forum and some research I've done on my own, because I was actually looking at Vermont Castings when I was buying my grill a number of years ago, is that replacement parts are not available in stores. You actually have to go online to get them. Is that a negative? Well, if you're somebody that knows what the problem is and you want to jump in your car and grab a new replacement part, then yeah, I guess that could be a problem. It just doesn't seem to be accessible. Or I guess the other thing that I have seen from looking at my brother-in-law's Vermont Casting is they don't seem to be necessarily as accessible if you were going to do a repair or a replacement. Now, those 2 things aside, I mean, this is a solid grill for probably starting in the upper $300 range. I mean, solid grill, I would definitely buy one if I had extra money to go add to my arsenal, although I don't think that would be appealing to my wife too much, having yet another grill or barbecue on the deck. But that's the Vermont Castings, and I think we'll press real quickly into my third recommendation, and that is Char-Broil. These grills probably have more features overall for the money on the gas side. In my honest opinion, this is your middle of the this. If somebody's like, man, I don't want to bone out a lot of cash for a grill, but I want something. I'm not afraid to spend some money, but I don't want to spend some decent money to get a really good grill. I want just something kind of middle of the road, something that will perform. But I might be using it 3 or 4 times a week when it's nice out, and maybe once or twice during a month when it's cold out. I would say charbroil, again, kind of middle of the road. I know people might want to argue with me about that because they have the higher end charbroils, but I think side to side, apples to apples, that the charbroils aren't going to match up with the Vermont Castings and the Webers of the grill world. My personal opinion. If Charbroil would like to send me one, I'll be more than happy to test it out. I can do it. Replacement parts are available, which is a plus. You can get to their customer service effectively, although I don't have one. I've never had any issues. I have called Charbroil to solicit sponsorship, and I was actually able to talk to a person, and they were back in touch with me to re-forward my direction. So on that respect, you can talk to people. That's good. And they also carry a line of what I feel to be far inferior charcoal grills compared to the Weber kettles. Again, they just seem kind of the essence of a wannabe or the Me Too's. I want to have a kettle grill too, so I build one that is in similar size. But when you actually walk around the chassis of their kettle grills versus the chassis of the kettle grills on the Weber, hardly comparable. So that's what you're looking at. Weber number 1, Vermont Castings number 2, Charbroil number 3, and there you go. That's going to do it. I hate to say it, ran out of time. Next week, obviously, we will start with my smoker recommendations. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget, coming up after me tonight, Raw Topics for ladies in Los Angeles, California, in a very small room with 4 microphones. What could possibly happen? It's not FCC regulated. Let's put a webcam in there. Sam, make that happen. Put a webcam in there. Don't forget, there are a bunch of original programs happening on bbstalkradio.com, to include my man Sam, who I appreciate helping me out with the sound tonight. Him and Manu host California Dreaming. And that takes place from, now my times will be Eastern, from noon until 2. Then you have the World According to TJ McCormick from 3 to 5. And then my man Johnny Dam with the Damage Report from 5 until 7. All great shows that take place Monday through Friday. So check out those daily shows and check out bbstalkradio.com. That's the place to be. This show will replay tomorrow and probably throughout the weekend. And if you don't catch it, we will be back for an original show next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Until next time, this is your host, Greg Rempe, for the Barbecue Central Show, saying peace, love, and barbecue.
Barbecue has never been easier with the Barbecue Guru. The Barbecue Guru is a temperature control and monitor for all pits, charcoal, wood, electric, your pit. It easily attaches to any smoker or pit and gives you simple, trouble-free control of your temperatures, so you can make championship quality barbecue every time and all the time. And it's location-free. Take it anywhere. This amazing breakthrough in barbecue technology is a microprocessor-controlled draft system that uses temperature monitors and a small fan to keep your temperatures constant. The stainless steel Guru Pit Minder gives you a choice of controls from 90 to 370 degrees. So cold smoking, pepper drying, making cheese or jerky, or fabulous briskets and ribs is nothing short of effortless. The Procom 4 lets you monitor your pit from up to 600 feet away, and there's more. Check out the full line of products and accessories for the future of barbecue with new items on the way. Visit thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU. D-Dog's award-winning barbecue rubs put the perfect balance of spicy and sweet on your ribs, chicken, all beef and pork, and more. Whether it's slow-cooked barbecue or grilled steaks and burgers or soups, vegetables, or anything else from your kitchen, D-Dog's award-winning rubs make good food great. 4 flavors: original, maple, apple, and peach, each made from the freshest all-natural ingredients. Order yours today at www.ddogsbbq.com. That's DDOGSBBQ.com. D-Dogs Barbecue Rubs. It's better than ketchup.